Alright, let's dive into this ranking of the world's best rugby players. But I'm not just here to read names and stats. I want to break this down, share my thoughts, and maybe even challenge some of these placements. Because, let's be honest, ranking players is always subjective, right? So, we start with Roigard at number 5. Now, what's fascinating about Roigard is how quickly he's risen to prominence. At just 25, he's already a key figure for both the All Blacks and the Hurricanes. Personally, I think his explosive running style is what sets him apart. It's not just about speed. It's the unpredictability. But here's the thing, while his impact is undeniable, I wonder if his ranking might be a bit inflated due to New Zealand's overall success. Don't get me wrong, he's a talent, but is he already top 5 material? That's debatable. Moving to Maxime Lucu at number 4, and this is where it gets interesting. Lucu isn't just a scrum-half. He's a leader on the field. His partnership with Matthew Jalibert is one of the most underrated duos in rugby right now. What makes this really interesting is how he's stepped up in the absence of Antoine Dupont for France. It's easy to rely on a star player, but Lucu has shown that France can still dominate without their usual talisman. In my opinion, this is what separates good players from great ones. The ability to lead when the spotlight is on you. Malcolm Marx at number 3. Now, this is a player who's hard to argue against. As a hooker, he's redefining the position. His World Rugby Player of the Year award wasn't just a fluke. It's a testament to his consistency and dominance. What many people don't realize is how much the modern hooker role has evolved, and Marx is at the forefront of that evolution. He's not just a forward, he's a game changer. If you take a step back and think about it, players like Marx are why rugby continues to evolve as a sport. Bielle-Biarrey drops to number 2. And this is where I have some thoughts. At 23, he's already a phenomenon, but his absence from the Nations Championship is a big reason for his drop. Personally, I think this highlights a broader issue in rugby rankings. How much should we penalize players for missing tournaments due to injury or rest? Bielle-Biarrey's try-scoring record speaks for itself, but rugby is a team sport, and sometimes individual rankings don't tell the full story. And finally, Finn Russell at number 1. Now, this is a choice that's going to spark debates. Russell has always been a maverick, but his recent performances show a new level of maturity and control. What this really suggests is that he's not just a flair player anymore, he's a complete fly-half. But here's my take, while he's undoubtedly in top form, is he truly the best player in the world right now? I'm not entirely convinced. Don't get me wrong, he's incredible, but rugby is so position-dependent that comparing players across roles feels unfair. A detail I find fascinating is how much his ranking relies on his ability to influence matches, which is subjective. If you take a step back and think about it, these rankings are as much about current form as they are about potential and impact. What this really suggests is that rugby is in a golden era of talent, but it also raises a deeper question. How do we fairly compare players across positions and roles? In my opinion, it's less about who's number 1 and more about appreciating the diversity of skill in the sport. So, what do you think? Is Finn Russell deserving of the top spot? Or is there someone else you'd put there? Let me know in the comments, and let's keep this conversation going. Because at the end of the day, that's what makes rugby so great, the endless debates and the passion of the fans.